What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Icon, and we're here on 910 Sports Podcast Live. And hold on, I have some technical difficulty. Okay, I'm good.
Oh, I thought it was just me. Oh, I was like, I hear you. What's going on?
I want to thank God first and foremost for allowing us to be here, you know what I mean, and do this on this platform, to do it once again. You know what I'm saying? From my right to my left, I got my man Steve-O, Mr. Atlanta, Mr. Georgia, everything in the building. You know what I'm saying? At the bottom of the screen, I got Mr., you know what I'm saying, just make it happen, make it do what it do, make it move if it ain't already shaking. You know what I'm saying? Jacob, the great Mr. Personality himself. What's going on?
Yes, sir. Mr. Jacob the Great. Mr. Say anything out his mouth. We're in the building.
Yes, sir. So anyway, man, listen. I guess, man, we get right into it, man. We getting back to this Brittney Griner situation. You know, basically, man, what y'all thoughts is, you know, feelings on everything. I know we all happy she got out. She home, the whole 9 yards. I've been hearing crazy stuff like, oh, that ain't really her. That's a clone. I don't think you can clone those 6'8", 6'9" Amazon. I don't think you can clone that. Maybe you could, but I don't know.
Hey, man, with that whole situation, black folk mad at me right now, Steve. Black folk really mad at me, boy. Social media, they hot with me.
Ooh, what you do now? What you do?
I said, man, I'm glad she home, but that was definitely not an even trade. Cry me a river. Call yourself Timberlake. That wasn't even trade. Ain't no way, shape, fashion, or form that's even.
Ain't no even swap from swim. Right?
No, stuff, man. That ain't no, bro. An arms dealer, bro. Get out of here, bro. Like,
my thing is, once I read up on him and seeing that he was actually planning to execute Americans, like, no, it wasn't just an arms deal. Like, this dude is like a mercenary of death. Like, he killed, like, he got some things in Africa that he's done. People over there, like, he's equipped a bunch of kids with AK-47s, like, created their own militias in parts of Africa over there. Like, he's a part of it. Like, he's been responsible for that. I think you could have asked for the Marine too. You know, there was a Marine still over there that's been captive over there for like 4 years. I definitely think you should have asked for him when it comes to what you got in return. But I mean, I'm happy she's home. I know she's happy she's home. Her family happy she's home. I understand that. I just look at what we gave up and the potential risk that now we put back on the street or put back, you know, over there in Russia based off what the information I've read. It's tough because I understand from her perspective and her family. If it was me and my family, they would want me to come home. They wouldn't care what.
But man, I'm gonna say this: you go over to Russia and play ball all the time, man, bro. Like, Russian laws are not American laws, man. What are you really doing? You must have been outside your rabbit ass mind.
I mean, hey, well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you what's crazy about this whole thing. And we in America, we gotta really be careful on how we do stuff sometimes, because we just had a situation in Colorado, and we got in those hate crimes. A lot of times, are starting to ramp it up in certain situations, and you got to think, people are very, very sensitive about their war heroes. And when you're in a situation like this, and you ain't bring this war hero home, and you already got some of these folks that's PTSD, that's ex-military, that's crazy than a doggone, you know what I'm saying, rabies rabbit, you know what I'm saying? So you don't know what people may think, what people may try to do, retaliate, whatever. So I would say that community LGBT they better move. You know, when they have their parties and events, they better move very, very strategically because you just never know. Because I guarantee you, it's gonna be some people that's gonna want to have some blowback. It's gonna be some blowback from this because they're gonna be resentful of her coming home, and you got this man over there been over there for 4 years, and that's the first thing people say. You know, people in America ain't never satisfied. It's always, oh well, she came home, but what about this over here? You know what I'm saying, or whatever. So, you know,
Well,
a lot of people didn't even know nothing about it.
man, I really expect to be some backlash. I ain't never been in the military, but I got a lot of family members, a lot of friends that been on there. The first thing they say, bro, like, bro, when did she put her life on the line for the country? Like, like they hot, bro, and I ain't being biased about it. It ain't just white people that's hot; it's black and white people that's hot about that.
Yeah.
That's fact, man.
It's not a race thing at all. It's not a race thing.
Right.
It's a country thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the country very sensitive about ever since 9/11, especially because before 9/11, if y'all don't realize, before 9/11, they was trying to kind of I almost like what they would call it with the police where they was kind of defund. They were trying to defund the military before 9/11. If y'all don't remember that. They was trying to downsize it the whole nine. Then when they said like they almost kind of frowned on the military because they felt like they was useless because it really wasn't too much going on for like a period of like 4 or 5 years that people really cared about. Then all of a sudden, when 9/11 hit, oh shoot! I remember when I was in the military going through the airport. Shoot, I was a bigger celebrity than the celebrities going through that. Jokers was buying me lunch. You know what I'm saying? All kind of stuff. Cause they coming through, they giving us a standing ovation. Because we walking through the airport, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, especially, you know, if you got your uniform on, they know you in the military, or they giving you a standing over. You know what I'm saying?
Not you saying 9/11 was done on purpose. I ain't gonna go into that.
I ain't going into that. All I can tell. All I tell you, this what I can tell.
That's for the Steve-O show.
Man, this is what I can tell you and Icon. I was living in Washington, D.C. at the time. I was working only about 15 minutes from the Pentagon. My aunt worked in the Pentagon. The shit that she told me after that, bro. Listen, bro. Listen. Man, Steve, boy, listen, boy. Ooh, wee.
Yeah, I've heard some stories, but I'm gonna leave it alone. I've heard some stories from people.
I would say nothing that would incriminate now on One Sports Podcast.
I'm like Jacob. I've heard some stories about people that worked closely to, like in those buildings or in like was kind of indirectly, but kind of knew what was going on. I done heard some stories, but yeah, I'm gonna leave that one alone. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, or whatever. But
so let's since we talking about stories, let's talk about Daniel Snyder and Jerry Jones' relationship.
What's wrong with them two?
You talking about the two freaky,
what?
Like
what happened with them?
Freaky dudes?
Boy,
what happened with them two?
They beefing, so they was beefing earlier before the picture came out with Jerry, and so Daniel said, "Oh, so Jerry, y'all boy, huh?" I tried to tell y'all about Jerry Jones. And Jerry said, I tried to tell y'all about the legal stuff that he was doing outside of the Redskins Stadium. So they at odds. And then the Colts owner and a few more owners talking about Daniel got a whole rap sheet. Them boys talking about it's like a 400-page rap sheet on Daniel Snyder.
Well, you see what the Senate or whatever it was said power that was it the Attorney General, whatever it was, said it was that NFL is complicit, and they knew they said he was taking his employees and was parading them, on the field and making them dance, you know what I'm saying, and gyrate in front of them while they come on with other executives. Yeah, go look for it.
I ain't read it. I haven't read it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I have not read the report at all. I gotta go.
Daniel Snyder was doing all kind of like Daniel Snyder was allowing other employees executives to slap women on the butt. They're right there in front of him. He wasn't saying nothing. Like it was all that's
Cesspool. Yeah, cesspool going on.
yeah, he had all kind of stuff going on behind the scenes that
25-cent chicken wings in Magic City on Mondays. Yeah.
Yeah, it was all kind of stuff going on with Daniel Snyder. I don't see how that man still even allowed to be in the building. They should have sent him home and let whoever his under person is or whoever, because you can have somebody else run the team while you trying to figure out what's going to go on. Like that's what they did with what's his name, with the owner of the Clippers. Soon as
Man, hey man,
they sent him home.
Yeah.
And he couldn't even run. He couldn't come in the building. You know
Daniel Snyder knew things. Daniel Snyder knew things on. If you want me, just don't talk to me. Go ahead and be yourself.
I think Daniel Snyder just ain't got caught with that smoking gun like that Clippers on the head. You know, that Clippers on
Yeah.
he was right there on camera, on film, saying it, standing on it, you know, doubling down on it again after he said it. So I just don't think Daniel Snyder has been caught with that smoking gun in his hand just yet. I know a lot going on, a lot happened, but it's all coming from third party like hearsay.
That IRS or whatever it is, that them feds and came in, they feds watching, so he about to be shut down. But anyway, can you hear us, sir?
Yes, sir, I can.
Can you turn your camera on for us, Coach Hunt?
Yes, sir. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Coach Hunt, what's happening, man? Good morning.
Good morning, man. You know, it's a little bit earlier over here in Texas, so.
Right. And we appreciate you coming on the early morning, man. We definitely appreciate that.
Yes, sir. I really do appreciate it.
You know, because it's hard to get folks out of bed unless they about to go say hallelujah.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So, man, welcome to the 910 Sports podcast, where we get it popping with the coaches and the athletes, the personal trainers, all the above. So, welcome, Coach Hunt. So,
yes,
before we get started until you know what you've done, who would you say Coach Trey Leo Hunt is?
I would say that I'm a guy that works hard. Came from a very tough situation, but made the most of his opportunities. You know, I won't be here if it wasn't for God and for hard work and for all the trials and tribulations that I've been through in my life. So whenever I started coaching and I started recruiting, you know, I wanted to give kids the opportunity to make something of themselves, because everyone knows how hard of a world this is. And if you ain't working hard and if you ain't got that piece of paper, which is your degree, then you're kind of meaningless in this world. So I want to try to give kids this opportunity to step on a platform and do what they do in life and in football. So.
Okay, great. So where would you say that your power, your passion, and your purpose, how did it come together for that thing, you know, that we represent called the pigskin, you know, the football, like in the game of football, like how did that power, that purpose, and that passion come in, and what did you experience to make you love it so much? Because football for a coach, you know, football is a bonus wife. Or we can say football is the first wife. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Man, I was younger, and I remember I was always hearing my Uncle KC talk about you know, his football stories and stuff, and I was like, man, you know, I think that's something I would want to do. So he would train me whenever I was younger, and I just started falling in love with the game. You know, just the discipline, the constant workouts, the grind that it brings to you, a different mentality that you got to have for football. Like everybody knows, like if you ain't not trying to down that field, man, like you don't really love the game, you know, because I think die is a powerful word. And I always tell my guys, man, bury me in between the lines, because I love me some football. So I think that just watching it, you know, analyzing the game whenever I was younger, you know, hearing my uncle talk about his stories, seeing Tom Brady win all those type of rings, playing Madden and stuff, like I really indulged myself into the game at a young age. I always wanted to play it. Whenever I went outside, you know, just running around, I think that's what I loved most about the game, is that it brought me a peace in my life at one point in time, for sure.
Okay, so and with you loving the game and playing the game, uh, what position did you play, and how did you grow to own that position and be a powerhouse at that position?
Man, I was a quarterback in high school. Wasn't very big. Wasn't very athletic either. And I always, was moving back and forth in between Palestine and Austin because that's around the area that I'm from, Palestine, Texas, and Austin, Texas. So I never did really get that opportunity to play like I really wanted to. But I just kept I really analyzed it from the background perspective, always being around my coaches, seeing how they handle things, being around my teammates, seeing how they played on the field. So, like most people don't know, like straight out of high school, I went into coaching at 18 years old. I'm 25 now. I got my first college job at 20. So I've just been coaching, never really played on a college level. I knew that was never going to be good enough for that. So I went straight into coaching.
Okay. So with that coaching, did you start at the high school level first, or was it straight to collegiate level?
At 18 years old, I went off to Blinn College. And some of my friends that I had met on campus, they were going out for the semi-pro team. And I just so happened to go out there with them. I had talked to the coach, Anthony Barnes with the Texas Express. I'm forever grateful to him because, like, second game of the season, our offensive coordinator, he wants to go play ball. So he turned over the reins to me to call plays at 18 years old. So I was calling plays at 18 and 19 for a semi-pro team. So, it was a great experience, and I'm really forever grateful for that. But I started off in the semi-pro level, no pay, no nothing, just showing up and doing what I need to do.
Okay, just working and getting your foot in the door. And
Yes,
so
sir.
upon you coaching semi-pro, you went to the collegiate level. And
Yes,
what was
sir.
that school that you coached at, and what was that experience like for you while
Um,
coaching there for the first year?
yes, sir. It was at Navarro College, out here in Corsicana, Texas. It's a junior college, and my experience, it really started off kind of weird at first. I didn't know that I was gonna be able to have a job at that time because the guy who hired me, he left 2 days later to go to Incarnate Word to be the offensive coordinator. So no one knew who I was. No one, no one really knew anything of me. He was the only one that knew about me. So whenever I showed up, everyone thought I was lying. A 20-year-old kid that's walking in, ain't got no degree or nothing. Coaching ball, that was something different. But I was a student there as well. But I had my own room. I was a running back coach. Didn't get paid at the time either because I didn't have my degree. So yeah, I got to do that. It was a great experience. Got to win a lot of games. I got to become a part of the air raid offense, got to learn that stuff. Got to be up under Jim Gush, who's now the DC at North Texas. And then the next head coach was Scott Parr. He's the offensive coordinator at La Tech now. So I got to learn from a lot of those guys. And I'm forever grateful to Navarro College for sure because they got me started to where I want to be at.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna turn it over to you.
So, how you doing this morning, bro? I'm sorry.
I'm doing good, man.
But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, because I've been out in Corsicana, Texas, on business, Austin, Palestine. So I know them. I know all those places, especially Corsicana. That's just like a small town, so you can barely get
Yes,
up
sir.
out there when I'm out there. So as a coach, and being as a player, and you saying, you probably y'all don't probably get the looks when you was in high school as far as from major colleges and stuff like that, recruiting. As a coach, what would you do, or what would you would implement to kind of help the kids get a look from some of these other places that they normally wouldn't get, but that talent wise they deserve to have the, probably at least in those areas, the Texas A&Ms, the Texas, different surrounding D1 power schools to look at them.
Yes, sir. I think that every school is different. Every high school. And I think that it really just comes down to, the coaching staff at that point. You gotta be a grinder for your kids, man. I know I know like here at Trinity Valley, and it's not just me, as a recruiting coordinator, our entire staff, they do a good job at, contacting coaches, building rapport with coaches, because it's all about who you know. It's not about what you know, right? That's what everybody talks about in college. So you got to be out here shaking these hands. You got to be out here, pushing your kids out. If you're lazy, just expecting for coaches to walk through the door, then you're sadly mistaken. Because I know if you're a 2-8 football team and you're expecting for coaches to come through, well, other coaches talk at different schools. Hey, should I go by this school? Hey, should I go by this school? And if multiple coaches are saying, nah, they don't have nothing, then 9 times out of 10 that coach isn't going to your school. So you have to entice coaches. You got to be able to, pump out emails. You got to be able to pick up your phone, get on social media, follow coaches. I know that's what I do. Even if they may not follow back, I mean, hey, I'm going to be putting my all in to try to get my kids. If we say that we love the kids and we're for the kids, that you're going to try to push them out as hard as possible, But I think that's the biggest thing. Just you can't be lazy in this profession. You got to grind at all aspects, not just the X's and O's, but the Jimmys and Joes.
Okay, so in your opinion, what's your biggest success story as far as not just going to the next level, but actually like a kid you seen come through your program, and at first you might have been like, man, they ain't gonna be nothing in your mind, but then at the end they ended up going to the next level and succeeding, either in life or or going to the next level in football.
Um, I would definitely say I had a running back. His name was Keaton Dudick. He was a white running back, so y'all know how that is. It's kind of rare, to have those. But he was a receiver at first. Whenever I first got there to Navarro, and junior college usually like you got like those big time talent type guys, Division I bounce backs or guys that had Division I offers. He was a receiver. I had some injuries going on. He kept telling me, Coach, I played running back in high school. I never did believe him until one day, I had no choice but to move him over. And man, like it was like I was just watching something special, and I stayed on him constantly, just like I rode him hard just to see if he really wanted it or not. And just to make sure like my mind wasn't deceiving me that I really had a gem fall right in my lap. Um, and man, like I love him so much just because he really showed me that, color, size, anything, that doesn't matter. As long as you got that heart thumping in your chest, man, like you can do anything. And now he's about to graduate. Didn't have his father in his life. Mom raised him. Kind of a mess up, in school every now and again. And to see him about to get ready to graduate and be an All-American 2 years in a row at SAGU, I think that would have to be my biggest success story, just because that he's a kid that defied all odds, man. And he didn't have to do what he did for our program. I know for sure he could have easily just went somewhere else or just sat down and quit. He didn't play until the last 5 games for me, and at Navarro my first year, and he just went crazy. But I think that's my biggest success story is Keaton Dudick, because I love that kid. I love everything that he stands for. My running back room goes by BOMB, and he's the epitome of our culture and what the culture that I bring to every stop that I'm going to be at.
You said BYOB?
BOMB.
Well, I'm about to say, what, y'all bring your own bags now? No, I'm just messing around with you. So what's your ultimate goal for yourself as far as you want to be a head coach? You want to be an athletic director? What's your ultimate?
I'm from Austin, Texas, and I grew up watching the Longhorns. So my biggest goal in life, that's always been my dream since I've started coaching. I want to be the University of Texas head coach one day. So I'm working hard to do that for sure.
Okay. Well, Steve-O, you got any questions?
Yeah. I got a few, man. Good morning, Coach, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, sir.
Coach, when you talking about Juco, and I know Juco is kind of getting a bigger light put on it lately as of recent with the last few years, like Last Chance U and stuff like that. What do you do as far as recruiting on your recruiting trip? If you can tell us like something that separates yourself or separates your Juco from everybody else.
The thing that I would say that I probably do different is whenever, and really just all of our coaches, whenever I go on the road and I talk to these kids, we talk about life and football, and I think that's what separates us from everyone else, because everybody talks about how great you can be on the field. Everyone talks about, oh, you can do this, we can get you D1. Of course, I mean that's part of it. But I think the life aspect of it is like the huge part whenever you're talking to these kids, because these kids think that they're invincible. That they think they can do anything and they can't be touched. And we always talk about life after football. At some point in time, you're going to have to hang up your cleats. At some point in time, you're not going to be able to wear the uniform anymore. So are you going to go out there, be in the streets, or are you going to have a degree and try to do something with yourself, because this game isn't guaranteed to everybody. We talk about, at some point in time, your parents are going to die. They're going to pass away, and you're going to be alone. I'm in the same situation with my grandparents. I was raised by them, and I understand at some point in time that that's going to come. But they prepared me, and this game has prepared me for life after my parents or life after my grandparents, because that's a different type of life now. Because now you're not like, you can't just pick up the phone, hey, I need this, hey, I need that. Now you got to go do it for yourself. So if you didn't get your degree or you didn't do what you were supposed to do in the classroom, it's kind of hard to fend for yourself in this life. Like, yeah, working at Walmart, working at a warehouse is good and all, but sometimes these kids, they go off in there and then they quit those jobs. Well, now they've had a kid and they quit. Well, now they've showed their new generation that it's okay to quit. Now your kid's kid, whenever they have kids, they're going to quit because you just showed them to quit. So now you got a whole generation full of quitters, because these kids don't know any better. They don't know what it's like to be alone. They don't know what it's like to not have anything and to have to grind for it. They don't know. And so that's what we talk about at Trinity Valley. We talk about the life aspects of, hey, like at some point in time, you're going to hit something harder than you than just the dude that's across from you. And so I think that's what separates us at Trinity Valley on what we do on different scales as far as recruiting.
Thank you for that, Coach. And Coach, you also mentioned social media. You talked about that as well. And with you being so young, you say you're 25 and then you're in the coaching and recruiting. How does that help you when it comes, or give you an advantage when it comes to recruiting in the social media world, you being so young and being able to probably connect and see social media yourself and see the benefits and the horror side or the bad side of it too? How does that help you when it comes to recruiting?
I mean, I think it really does help me being young, and we got some young coaches on the staff too, but I've always been the youngest on the staff. I think that it really helps me is because I'm able to connect with the kids. We're not around the same age anymore, like whenever I was 20 and 21 at the time, but it definitely is a help because I'm able to navigate through social media easily. I'm able to connect with these kids. I'm able to talk to the kids in their language, because a lot of the kids, man, like they don't listen to
text message world, man.
Yeah, like they don't listen to older people, which is crazy, because I know, like me listening to my grandparents, like if I didn't listen to them, like I knew it was over with. You know what I'm saying? Like they have a hard time with authority with older people. So if I'm coming in, hey, I'm 25, I do some of the same things that you do. I game, I'm on the game, I'm on Twitter, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I listen to rap music. I'm doing some of the same things that you're doing. It's easier for them to open up and to talk to me. Talk to me about their life, talk to me about, football, or, shoot, like I tell them, hey, if you having girl problems, man, hey, talk to me. I understand. You know what I'm saying? So
we all have had those.
Yes, exactly. So I think that's I think that's huge with social media and me being young. It really has allowed me in the past to be able to go talk to some really, really good football players.
Ooh. Coach, now let's talk current football. Like, what's your team, Coach? Who you like? Don't say the Cowboys. I'm cutting you off.
Nah, man. My dad, he was a big, like, he loved the Patriots whenever I was younger. I always played with him on Madden and all that stuff. So I started following the Patriots even after Tom Brady left. But my dad, he really did like the Patriots. So that's kind of who I hung with right there.
Okay. Patriots fan, Brady guy. I can understand. Jacob, you on mute.
Steve-O, don't do that, man. Don't let the man answer the question. Let the man answer the question, man.
Hey,
Don't
man,
I ain't gonna lie. I just knew he was gonna say that.
me too.
Don't do that.
Man.
But you know, it's quite obvious. You know, he didn't have to say, you know, the Dallas Cowboys, because I'm pretty sure that we have enough fans where we're well represented.
Well, see what it is. He right there in Texas, and he seen the cesspool down there. So he got out early.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, y'all just worry about, you know, getting yourself in the playoffs at this point. So we're not gonna talk about that.
Coach, you say you are a running backs coach. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Give me your top 4 running backs all time. Mount Rushmore. You only got 4 slots. Give me your top 4 running backs all time.
Top 4 running backs all time. I'm gonna have to go Barry Sanders, Marshall Faulk.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, Barry Sanders, Marshall Faulk. I liked what Walter Payton. I liked him a lot. So 3, and then man, I gotta go. I gotta go with a guy that, man, he was a beast, and he's from Palestine, Texas. I gotta go with Adrian Peterson.
I knew you were gonna say AP.
Yeah, AP.
Yeah, man, the stuff that
you see Jacob, no Emmett in there, no Emmett.
Okay, I mean, to each his own, but the record still stands. So you know,
the record still stands for sure.
Yeah, so it don't make a difference. So coach, I know you running back and tight end coach. So
yes, sir.
And tight ends never get no love. You know, even when I see people podcasting stuff, tight ends they don't ever get no love. And if we look at the NFL, and I'm gonna call the NFL out too. If tight end wasn't in the game a lot of times, these teams wouldn't win.
Yes, sir.
These teams would not win.
Yes, sir.
You know, when the receivers on lockdown and you got them tight ends that can go across the middle, take contact, get yards after the contact, and you got these tight ends that block for these running backs. When the O-line can't block, they can run right behind the tight end, and the tight end open up doors. So what is your take on coaching tight ends, and why do you feel like that's a position that need to be talked about more?
Whenever I got to Trinity Valley, I never coached tight ends a day in my life. I coached O-line a little bit, so it allowed me to, you know, step in and be able to understand, you know, the position a little. But man, like, I will definitely say this, since being at Trinity Valley, us being able to use tight ends and us being able to bring tight ends into our system has been huge. Because, like, without tight ends, I think, like, you're not able to extend the formation, meaning, like, you're not able to elongate the line of scrimmage, create an extra gap. You know, we do a lot of 2 tight end sets. I know my first year we put 4 tight ends on the field at the same time and just say, hey, let's go get smash mouth football and let's go do what we got to do. But I think the tight end position is such a valuable position because you get the best of both worlds. They're the best blockers, but they're not an O-lineman. And sometimes they got the best hands on the team, but they're not a receiver. So they weren't fast enough to be a receiver. They weren't big enough to be an O-lineman, so they kind of fell in between the middle.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so I definitely love tight ends for sure. Yeah,
that's what's up. I appreciate that. That's what's up. So Icon and Steve, what do you guys think about tight ends?
I
Coach.
think tight ends are at the forefront right now. Look at Kelsey. Kelsey's like one of the premier players in the league. Andrews out there in Baltimore. Kyle Pitts here in Atlanta. I think tight ends don't come up. That's just me.
I think quarterbacks is more important tight ends are more important to the quarterback than receivers are in a lot of cases because they're the security blanket, and some of them can catch and they can block. And to be honest with you, a lot of times the tight ends be the toughest dudes on the field, especially on the offensive side of the ball. You know what I mean? You look at Travis Kelce, you look at, like you say, look at some of these tight ends, man, they ain't scared to like get hit and go out there and take it in their chin for the quarterback to play. You know what I mean? So I definitely think they very, very important. Steve, you
Okay.
good up there, man?
You have some
y'all,
technical difficulties?
y'all hear that or just me? Y'all don't hear that?
No, we heard you.
We heard it first.
We thought you was
Okay.
getting a sign from the aliens or something. We ain't got time for it right now. Not doing the show.
And so, one last question before we let you go, Coach. And I know that you look at this a lot. What is your take on the transfer portal, and what is your take on athletes receiving $1 million check? NIL. Yeah. So
Yes,
what is your take? So, do you think it's a good thing, or do you think they should receive money, but not that much money?
Yeah, Coach. The transfer portal to start off with. At first, we thought that it was really going to hurt junior college football recruiting. And what we've seen transpire now is that a lot of coaches that I've talked to or that have recruited our guys, they're not even, recruiting the transfer portal. There's like at least 30 schools that have talked about not recruiting the transfer portal because let's say that Billy, he's at the University of Texas, right? He's at Texas. He has the logo on the side of his helmet. He has the logo, but he doesn't have that type of experience at the University of Texas. Well, let's say like a Texas State, they go and get that player. Well, he hasn't played in 2 years at the University of Texas. They go and get him. Well, he's not even that good. So now they've wasted their scholarship money, as they say, on a player that cannot help them. So they're trying to steer away from those issues. Like they want to go get the guys that have played. And so that's why you see junior college recruiting wrapping up right now. Right now we got like 17 guys with Division I offers on our roster alone. So it's not really hurting or killing anything in the junior college ranks. It's really killing the high schoolers for sure. Because they're thinking in the process of, okay, I can go get a kid that actually played college snaps over a kid that maybe has potential, has huge upside, but when will he be ready to play? And so that's why you see so many kids in the portal because they're either A, they're leaving thinking that they're going to get something better, or B, their coach has told them that they're never going to play there. So you might as well enter the portal, which a lot of that goes on too.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question before we let you go, though. What is your thoughts on this whole Deion Sanders thing? Because I know when the Juco level and HBCU level is kind of almost the same level of football. It's just you probably got more minority kids at the HBCU than you may as at Juco school. You may have a little bit more mixture of different races. So what's your thoughts on what he accomplished there, or if you feel like he didn't accomplish anything, or what's your whole thoughts on the whole thing when you heard how it unfolded?
I would definitely say that I understand, where Deion was coming from on him deciding to leave. I get it, the whole HBCU community. He really stood on the table for that. He fought hard for that. But how I see it, man, is that like Deion was a man that he's seen opportunity, and I think that I think he finally seen that there was nothing more that he could change at Jackson State. That he's done all that he can do at Jackson State. And sometimes, like as a coach, some people don't understand, like once you've done everything that you can do for a school, at times you get that thought of like, man, I want a new challenge. I want to try something new. I want to do something new. And, like you said, you either get elevated or, you get fired in coaching. And I guess Dion felt like that there was nothing more that he can elevate at that program. So he wanted to go chase something new. Because like you said, I mean, it ain't about the money or anything like that. I mean, look at Colorado football. I looked at their schedule. They've, besides one game against Cal, they gave up 40 points a game. Like they only won one game, and that was against Cal, 20-13. Other than that, they gave up 40 points a game. 1 in 11. So I think that he feels, man, like I can really do something here at Colorado. Like, yeah, I think it was the whole aspect about getting recruits and stuff like that too. But I think that he's seen the challenge more of the bag. I think that he really wanted to challenge himself. I mean, just like at Jackson State. I mean, he went to Jackson State, because it was a challenge. It was something new. When he had won at high school all those years, he could have easily stayed, in the high school ranks and just let his son go off to a different college, but he wanted a new challenge. So I think that's what it was more so over, because I definitely understand, sometimes whenever sometimes you get tired of the same old thing. Sometimes you want to do something new.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming on this morning, giving us your time. Like Jacob said at the beginning of the show, it ain't easy for people to get up this time in the morning. You know what I'm saying? We have people flake on us all the time when they feel like, ooh, 8 o'clock, ooh, and for you it's 7. So I already know how that is.
Yes, sir.
But I do appreciate you coming on. Wish you all the success in the world. If it's anything we can do to try to, help put light on the program, we do have platforms that kind of help, these situations. And this show was created to help these programs, these Juco, smaller schools, smaller town programs. So if there's anything we can do to kind of help facilitate, eyeballs on your kids and your program, just don't hesitate to reach back out to us.
Yes, sir, for sure.
All right, Coach, and like I told you before, man, you're welcome. And like I told you before, you got coaches out there, whether at your school or other schools or high schools or middle schools, players and coaches from the Pee Wee all the way up. Just tap in with me. You got my number, so just tap in with me.
Yes, sir. Will do.
I appreciate you, man.
All right, yes, sir. Y'all take care.
You too.
You too.
All right.
Yeah. So
let me say this to you, man. How dare you say HBCU and Juco is on the same level? That's not true.
Oh my God.
Ain't no way, shape, fashion, or form that's true.
What you mean by that ain't true?
that ain't true, bro. They're not on the same level, man.
I mean, you tell me the difference.
The difference is the scheduling. I just believe that HBCU players are better. You know what I mean? Despite what people think, man, it's a lot of HBCU players that's really good. They could have went to Division I bit because that's their family legacy to go to HBCU. That's why they go. For real.
Well, I wasn't really talking about talent. I was talking more about the other stuff that go along with the program, like the two leagues. Like I was talking about the funding issues or the other stuff that they dealt with, not necessarily the talent level. I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about the other stuff that go along with the two things. That's why I said, what's your thoughts on him leaving? Because to me, like he was at a Juco program, and then let's just say he was in a Juco league and he brought that Juco league light. He put light on the Juco league. Because Dion, when he went to Juco, he would have brought light on the Juco program. Do you feel what I'm saying?
Right. You're right. Absolutely.
And as soon as he would have brought it up, it'd been JUCO coaches saying, "Man, why Deion leave? Oh, he
Yeah,
went over there."
but
You know what I'm saying? So
I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah.
I'm so good because Steve went to HBCU.
Yeah.
I am tied in with HBCU a lot. But this is the thing. I heard. I forgot the black guy that's on. He be on Stephen A. Smith's show sometime. That kind of got the little fro, and he was talking about Deion, and
Michael
he was
Irvin.
not Michael Irvin, man. I know who that
I
is.
about to say, I know you know Michael Irvin. Hell.
Yeah, man.
But it's the only one I can think of with a little fro. I can't think of nobody else with a little fro.
I can't think his name, but I'm gonna send y'all the clip. But he said, so let's talk about the alumni that goes to Jackson State or went there, or let's talk about how black people are some of the only alumni that go to a college like a HBCU. So I'm from South Carolina, so I know about different alumni from the smaller schools, from the Coastal Carolinas to the Furmans to the Presbyterian College to the upstate USC upstate to Clemson to Carolina, to Benedict to Allen. Just as I know for a fact that when it comes to the smaller schools like Presbyterian and Furman and Newberry College and places like that, they alumni donate. I don't care, Steve, if it's only 1,000 people donating $500 a year. They donate, bro. And so what this guy was saying, he was like, he said, I don't care if alumni only donate $100, man. But if you got 50,000 people who went to that school, present or past, that just graduated or they've been graduated 25, 30 years ago, if you got 50,000 people that donate $100 every year, that's money that the school can use. He said, between he's like, how can Deion come there who in a matter of 2 years and donate more than the school has ever seen in his existence, ever?
Because we don't work for Affleck.
Huh?
We don't work
that
for
ain't got nothing to do with
we don't work for Affleck. You asked him, how can Deion do it? Deion has the means. He has the money.
That's not what I'm saying. But Steve,
I thought that's what you were saying.
We talking about over 30 to 40 year period, bro. You know what I mean?
But listen what I'm saying. Deion Sanders is making millions of dollars. He's been making millions. He's been making millions of dollars since he was about 19 years old.
But to donate nothing. And
I agree with that part. If you're going to be an alumni, if you're going to be associated or affiliated with any program, school, sorority, fraternity, you got to do your part and pay your dues to donate. There's no way around it. But most HBCUs, they don't have the funding. They don't have the donations coming in.
And then the administrative side, they were stealing. A report came out that they only say that they took in 28,000 for certain games. But when Deion went back and digged up, the book said they took in 60,000. So where is the other 42,000 accounted for?
It sounds like we're gonna be like that Harlem Night scene when they come in there and say, "Why is the girls in the bar always short?" That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like.
You know what I'm saying? And so then they brought it up. Not only Jackson State HBCUs, and I know for a fact, bro, South Carolina State was about to close down. I talked to the president at Florida A&M about 4 years ago. We was all at a fundraiser in Maysville, South Carolina, and a part of that fundraiser, he wanted us to come down Florida to the fundraiser because they was having money to help Florida A&M, to help Bethune-Cookman. Like, these HBCUs have been in a disarray for a long time. Where is this 7 million? What did he say? $7.7 million of grant money has been missing, and a lot of HBCs are getting $1.2 million a year in grant money, and it's only been claimed for $300,000 or $400,000. but there's been no investigations on the executive board of the administrative staff. So
I
blame
graduated from HBCU in 2012. It's 2022. I knew then when I went to HBCU that it was an N-word setup. It's still an N-word setup. It ain't changed.
Well, Steve, let me ask you this question.
It ain't changed.
Let me ask you this question, Steve, because you know my son go to a HBCU.
The worst one. He go to the worst one.
And I got a nephew that go to a HBCU. I got a niece that go to HBCU. So I'm kind of familiar with HBCUs. And every semester, not every year going into the fall, but every semester, it's always we got to go back and forth over money that was already supposed to be allocated to these kids, and the administration or whoever does the money, the financial aid stuff, be lying, saying that this ain't been signed and you got to do this, and then they make us pay extra money to make it go through, and then well, you'll get your check back in 3-4 weeks from now. So I'm like, hold on. I'm like, I know the signs when somebody behind the scenes is stealing money. You know what I'm saying?
And might I add this? Not all HBCUs, but 77% of HBCUs are set up under the nonprofit 501c3 law. And I work with nonprofits. I've studied them verbatim, and I know when it comes to those education and grants, there's over 4,223 educational grants that you can get for when it goes all the way from pre-K to graduate school. You know what I mean? And I know for a fact the HBCUs have took in a lot of grant money, man.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I'm with both of y'all. We're both of y'all. I'm not arguing with either one of y'all. That money.
Did you read the report? When you look at the report, when they were saying all of a sudden all this money they promised Deion, remember I told you this. I said we don't really know what went behind it, what was going on behind the scenes. But it was a lot of stuff that was promised to Deion that was supposed to happen as far as the money he was supposed to get to help with the program, and they lied, like you said, like Jacob said, they started lying about the numbers. You know,
and for the man have to pay his coaches out of his own pocket, and for him to have to get for him to have to bring Walmart in there, and for them to build 2 facilities. They only had 1 football field, and they always had to get somebody out there because it had ant beds on it. Now you got 2 great football fields. You got a great facility where they can work out, and Deion on the field, and somebody breaks into the locker room, steal his wallet, all his credit cards. The only reason they ain't steal his jewelry because he had it on him. And so, I just think that the HBCU culture, man, was against Deion from the start, and they really ungrateful. Jackson State, what people who love HBC weren't even checking for y'all. And then I heard somebody that's in the SWAC conference. I heard this guy on TikTok. He said that I go to Alcorn State. And he said, man, look, this is my 4th year. I'm about to graduate. He said, but in the SWAC conference, the schools in the SWAC, the higher ups, like the executives and the administrators, they've been stealing money from HBCU. Just like they stole them ticket sales from Deion. Talking about account for $28,000, $60,000 in revenue per game. When you only had about 3,000-4,000 people coming at your game, and now you got thousands of people coming. That sure ain't because y'all was selling lemonade on the corner.
And I'm gonna tell you something. All right, Steve, let me know. You might know the answer to this too. What would if you got the HBCU teams, what would be the Alabama, or what would be the epitome of the top school in HBCU? Like what would be
what's the Alabama A&M? I think they've been winning championships there with Eddie Robinson Senior.
Well, for the last 3 or 4 years, I'm gonna say Alabama A&M. I'm gonna say Grambling Southern. I'm talking about well known.
Yeah, Grambling.
Howard University, Morgan State, South Carolina State.
I would say Grambling. I say Grambling over anybody. Grambling.
Okay, stop right there for a minute. I'm trying to make a point. Let's just say Deion would have left Jackson State and went to one of these more what you call powerhouse type schools at HBCU.
Okay, I'm gonna stop here. Let's just say Dion went to Howard University to coach. In the heart of DC, and in the heart of DC, graduates like Puffy, Lynn Whitfield, Morris Chestnut. I can tell you for a fact, Lynn Whitfield, Morris Chestnut, Angela Bassett, they donate $1 million a year.
Yeah.
For Felicia Rashad, she donated $1 million a year.
But what I'm saying is this. So let's say he went to Howard.
Okay.
Black folks are so exhausting, they would have had an issue with that. Well, Howard already got it going on. Why you ain't just said Jackson State and build them up? You could have stayed over there. So my point is, it's just like with LeBron when he made the comment about Kyrie Irving, when he came back made a comment about Jerry Jones. Oh, he only said a thing about Jerry Jones because he had to come back and make amends for what he said about Kyrie Irving. It's like,
well, a lot of people said that. A lot of people did say that.
Black folks are just exhausted. I don't got time to be trying to figure out what I'm saying right, what I'm saying wrong, and then one don't have nothing to do with the other. Like, okay, so if Kyrie Irving, if you think Kyrie Irving is right or wrong, and you say Jerry Jones is right or wrong, regardless, then they're like, why he ain't saying nothing about China, or why he ain't saying nothing about it? Well, damn, I'm a basketball player, I'm an athlete.
Man, I don't know nothing about China but soy sauce. Man, I don't care about no damn China.
I'm just saying, like black folks want you to be everything for everybody. They want you to be everything for everybody, and it's like, no, that ain't the way the world works. Sometimes I have an opinion, sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's strong, sometimes it ain't. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I may not know enough about what's going on.
Y'all know we can't please everybody in our culture. We can't even please half the people in our culture gonna be over there. Half the people in our culture gonna be on that side, man. We
talking about the culture, man. The same people talk about the culture, man. They got first cousins that they ain't spoke to in 25 years. Talking about pleasing somebody, man. Get out of here, man.
And listen, I was at the funeral yesterday. The pastor talked about people having hate in the heart in the family, not talking to each other. And then you get in here and want to get up here and start crying and moving over caskets. It's the same thing with black people, man. We can't never seem that this. We can have different opinions and still be in agreement with each other. That's okay. Like we can have a different opinion about something and it be okay. Everybody ain't got to see everything one way. Everybody ain't got to see everything the other way. And our culture don't seem to understand that. It's like you got to come over here and be on you got to be a part of what I'm crying about and shouting about right now, or you ain't with me. And it ain't like that. Like you said, I don't give a damn about what's going on over there in China most of the time. It doesn't affect my personal life. It doesn't affect me directly. I told somebody, I can empathize with them people over there. I can empathize with what's going on, but it don't affect me. It don't affect me.
The worst part about it, we don't even care about what's going on in the black community, but we want somebody to comment on China. But you ain't caring about Pookie and them getting shot down the road because the Pookie gets shot. Oh, I can't snitch. But you worried about what's going on in China. So I'm supposed to snitch on China and care about what's going on in China. But I ain't care about when little Teresa got raped, you know what I'm saying, by Mookie and them.
It's shut up and dribble when it's shut up and dribble when it's something that's against bettering our people. When it's something against bettering our people, it's shut up and dribble. If it's something that's going to divide us, they want to hear what LeBron got to say about Kyrie now. They want to hear about that because it's something that's going to put a division or put a LeBron against Kyrie in a sense. You know what I mean? So they would love to throw that on the front page. But if it's something that's going to bring us together, or if it's a problem that we can all agree about, they just want us to shut up and dribble. They don't want us to say nothing about that. So,
and my thing is this, and I'm going to give you an example. So that'd be like if you got, let's just say we all around each other. Let's say Steve-O say something or whatever, we don't like it. As a friend, or let's say I say something, as a friend, as brothers, I'd rather you tell me how you really feel. Don't tell me what you want me to hear. Tell me how you really feel. Now, he was wrong for that one. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Versus saying, yeah, what he said was cool, and because I can't grow. I can't grow if you co-sign everything I'm doing.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my whole thing with it is you don't know if Kyrie and Bron had a conversation behind closed doors, and he said, bruh, I feel like certain things, I feel what you were saying on this, but you was wrong about this. You know what I'm saying? And when asked about it, he just said about what he felt on the situation. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. You ain't always got to be no coon or a sellout just because you don't agree with what black folks think you're supposed to be agreeing with. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, I guess we go ahead and get into the NFL Week 14 predictions of the week.
Yeah, I got them all out. Let's see. Got all the games listed. Let me see who did good last week. Who picked something last week?
Hey fellas, I'm gonna have to slide. You know, I got a death in the family, so we about to get ready to go down.
Oh man, sorry to hear that.
Okay, sorry to hear that, brother.
Jacob, send me your picks though. Send me your picks through the text message.
Okay, I do that.
All
right, later.
All right, let's see what we got here, man. I guess last week the only thing that really stood out, man, the Vegas Raiders find a way to lose. They find ways to lose every week. They be up in every game and find a way to lose.
Well, shit, that was really this week game. Really? You talking about Thursday night game?
Yeah, they've lost that was the last game. That was the Thursday night game. Yep,
so that'd have been the first game of the week, really.
Yeah, this week. Yeah. So everybody was good on that one except for KB. Of course, he picked Raiders. So first game of the week this week, we got Browns at the Bengals. We got Deshaun Watson back out for the second time.
I'm gonna still say the Bengals. I just don't think that I don't think Deshaun Watson is completely back yet. I think it's really gonna be next season. He's gonna need that full off-season training camp, get his legs under him. The one thing I'm concerned with being he is he does run around, scramble a little bit. He pulling a hamstring or something, being out, being such a short time out there and having to, it's not like he kind of ease back in. They still trying to fight for a playoff spot. So he a competitor. So he's gonna be trying to do everything he can to win them games and to prove himself. But other than that, it's gonna be a competitive game. And then, Burrow ain't never beat Cleveland. But I just feel like today, you know what I'm saying? I think Cincinnati gonna get it.
Then I think last week too, man. Can you imagine how emotional that game probably was for him? You've never been probably to the visitor locker room. You probably don't even know what it looked like on the visitor side.
Nope.
You going to the same stadium you always go to. You see your people in the front, and you like, nah, bro, you gotta go that way. The visitors over there, and it's like, damn, this ain't even my crib no more. But I gotta come play. I gotta get ready. I gotta get in game mode. And you're not even at home, and you've been in this place since 5 or 6 years. You've been in the league now. So I think last week was just kind of emotional for him. I didn't think he was gonna play good regardless of what happened because of the situation.
And they kind of set him up for failure too, because if you think about it, I don't think, because first of all, I'm probably almost know for a fact, I don't think Tom Brady played the Patriots the first game when he went.
No.
Peyton Manning didn't play against Indianapolis first game when he came back, when he switched teams. So I think they set him up for failure. Why would you make the first game that he played against his old team? Let him get a few games under his belt. Then you have that reunion game. And so I think they did that on purpose just to kind of make him look bad. Because they knew he probably getting booed like a mug and the whole nine. But
he's messing with his mental. He's never been booed in this state. So you got the football helmet on. You're so used to being on the other sideline. The play clock is always on the left side, now it's on the right side. It's just little mental things I think that probably had him all discombobulated with that game last week. So I do expect them to look better this week. But I do have the Bengals winning as well. We got the Jets versus the Bills. Jets at the Bills.
Much as I want the Jets to win this game, because I just like the underdog story the Jets are. You know what? I'm gonna pick Jets in the upset just because.
By yourself? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Jets just because I just feel like I like the underdog story, and I would love to see them just at least get into that wild card spot. I really would.
I agree. I'm roll with the Bills. I think Josh Allen's gonna be a little bit too much for them guys at the end of the day. I don't even know if the Jets are going back to Zach Wilson as quarterback. I don't even know who's quarterback.
Nah, they still rolling with Mike White.
Mike White, okay. Mike White. All right. So we got the Texans versus the Cowboys. Cowboys, I think the Cowboys winning by 20.
That game gonna get ugly quick.
Yeah, man. So we'll stay with that. Eagles at the Giants.
I just think the Eagles. I just think I think the Giants are too beat up. Eagles are just more talented than them. I know it's a division game, rival game, but I just think the Eagles gonna be a little bit too much for them. And I think last week the emotion of the Giants still kind of like what happened last week. I think it's just gonna kind of just spill over. You know what I'm saying? Because I think they realized they let one get away.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
think
Because for me, when I'm watching like the last tail end of that game, I felt more of a sense of relief than I felt like, damn, we let one get away. Because I felt like really the Giants had more chances to win that game than we did. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of
yeah. I can see that. I can see how you feel that way.
so
Yeah,
I was like, well, I don't really like it, but I feel like in our situation, we kind of like almost it was almost like that's the best we could hope for because we should have lost this game. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I felt.
I got you. Yeah, Ravens at the Steelers.
Well, Lamar being out.
Yeah, see, I went with Steelers because I didn't have Lamar going, but Huntley ain't a bad quarterback.
Yeah.
It's just like one of them things.
And they already were struggling to score. They was already struggling to score when Lamar was out there. So and then Rashad Bateman being out, so they don't really got no real go-to guys like they normally would.
Yep.
So I'm gonna say the Steelers get them in this one.
But who did take the pick this game? He got that one. He picked that one thing. He got the Vikings. Jacob did pick the Vikings. Vikings at the Lions. You think the Lions will upset them guys today?
I'm gonna go with the Lions today because I feel like the Lions.
You just on upset. You on upset alert today.
Yeah, I'm going on. Know why I'm feeling a little froggy today. So so I feel like the Lions, man, they've been playing good football, at least on the offensive side of the ball. They've been making a few plays on defensive. Their defense they still kind of at the bottom. They've been improving. They've been showing signs of life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna pick the Lions. And in Minnesota, kind of like they always in these one-score games. Yeah, so you just never know when they might get clipped in that one game. So I'm gonna pick the Lions to get them.
Yeah. All right. Give me a score. You the only one. Give me a score for the Jets too. Jets and Bills. Okay, you the only person.
Jets and Bills. I'm gonna say 24-23. And in the Lions, Minnesota, I'm gonna say 31-28. Because the Lions, the only way they're gonna win this game, they're gonna have to put up some points.
I got it. Jared Goff is having the best year of his career, secretly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You got the Jaguars at the Titans.
Ooh.
KB did pick the Jags. He was the only person to pick the Jags.
Because Jaguars is paying a little bit better. And I will give Trevor Lawrence. He is starting to show that
he's starting to look, right?
He's starting to look like Trevor Lawrence.
At first we were like, ooh.
Yeah, yeah, he's starting to look like Trevor Lawrence a little bit now. So I'm gonna pick Jacksonville. Let's
see what Jacob picked the Titans.
No, he gonna pick the Titans. And last week when I picked the Titans, you think Derrick Henry? Now he won't pick the Titans.
We got the Chiefs at the Broncos.
Oh, my homeboy. That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't even got to even.
Man, Russell Wilson is looking crazy.
Bad. It's bad.
It's bad. Like this week 14, Russell, we ain't seen no improvement. We haven't seen y'all start to even trend in the right direction. Oh. It's like 9 points is y'all cap. Like y'all score 9 points a game. That's it.
What they 3-9, 3-10? Like how that I wouldn't have never. I ain't think they were gonna be what everybody thought they were gonna be, but I ain't think we're gonna be this bad.
Nah, me either, man. Not win. And they finna fire the coach. They already said the coach is gone. So
what they have like 15 points a game? If that, like they.
I think they average like 11 points a game for real. I think that's what they average.
Really? That's crazy. There's no way in the world an NFL team. I don't care if you 0-17 where you have. I bet you the 0-16 Browns when they went 0-16, I guarantee you they have no 11 points a game. If I'm wrong, show me the stats. But
they average 3 field goals a game. That's what they average.
Crazy. And you got one of the supposedly been the top 5 quarterback in the league. You got weapons. They may not be now. I always told y'all the weapons.
You said
but still, you should muster up more than 11 points a game with the weapons. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, you could get a few scores on a scoop and score, or something. Just 7 off of that. Like, that don't even make no dang sense. Stop it, man. They didn't forget the head coach. They didn't fire the whole entire staff.
They did, bro. You know they got a new owner. Walmart just bought the Broncos, so he gonna clear house.
Like,
he gonna clear house. Yeah, he about to clear house.
Hackett on down need to go. Like, the
he gonna clear house.
Stuff. Well, I'll take that back. Defensive coordinator could stay because they got like the number.
That defense is good.
Top 5 defense. So defense coordinator, the defense side good, but all that offensive side, every last one of them need to go.
Yeah. The Patriots at the Cardinals. It's a Monday night game. I don't know why I got this right here.
I'm gonna say the Patriots because the way like the what you guys already discombobulated Kyler Murray and whatever, and I just feel like Bill Belichick gonna find a way to get him. He gonna game plan. I think somebody like Kyler Murray is easy for, and then Patriots got like a top 5, top 10 defense. So I think Bill Belichick, he know how to scheme against a player like Kyler Murray. And I'm gonna ask you something before we leave off of here. I'm gonna ask you because you probably know more about it because I know you know. You gonna have to explain to me this Trey Young thing before we leave.
Oh yeah, I got it. Oh yeah, I'm deep in that too. I'm talking to his daddy. I'm talking to the fans. It's like, yeah, I'm kind of like jumping in the middle of it somewhat. But yeah, we'll talk about it. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals. This is the game, but they get Marquise Brown back. They got Hopkins back. This is the first time them having all their weapons.
I thought he was out for the year. He coming back?
Yeah, he was just put him on IR, but he was able to come back. It was so early. So yeah, Marquise.
You might make me be lose shoot. Hold on now. You might make me switch my pick. I ain't know you was coming back.
Yeah, Hollywood is back. This is the first time they really have all their weapons. They got Hollywood.
They got Hollywood.
Hopkins,
they got Hop, and they got
Ertz. They got Ertz at tight end. They got AJ Green still out there too. So
and the other receiver they brought in.
Oh yeah,
Probably
more. Yes. Yeah.
Hold on, you may make me switch my pick. And you know what? Switch my pick to Arizona. I ain't no good. And Brown was balling. I ain't gonna lie. I was calling him Compton Brown, but he was playing Hollywood before he left now.
Sometimes they just be the quarterback.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So this is a game I think will be the pretty good one. Dolphins at the Chargers.
Yeah, that's gonna definitely be a good game.
I went with Miami on this one. I think too.
Yeah, but Josh Herbert, it's like I don't know, man. It's like he just give me them Phillip Rivers vibe. Like,
man, yes, that's exactly.
And then he can't win the big one. He just, they keep getting him all this credit and accolades like they should do Phillip Rivers. Oh, he got a strong arm and he this and he that. By the end of his career, he had like one playoff win and you know what I'm saying? Just like he had nothing to show for it. He was like, I don't know. He's like,
that's a perfect analogy. Just like Phillip Rivers, that's the perfect line. Like you said, he got the arm talent. He looked good, fantasy wise. It looked good. He putting up points. You can't win though. Not when it counts.
Nope, not when it counts at all.
Who you going with? Chargers or Dolphins?
I'm gonna go with Dolphins. I just have more faith in what the Dolphins, because Dolphins at least showed me they can win big games, and Tua actually been winning more than he has lost. And when people try to come down on the man, I felt they were too hard on him to begin with. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely think, I think the biggest problem with Tua was he was drafted too high. I think that was the biggest thing. If he would have been drafted like in the lower 20s, then nobody would have cared. But the fact he was like top 5 quarterback, you know what I'm saying, and it's like all these expectations on him that shouldn't be there. That's just like what's going to happen with Anthony Richardson. He's going to get drafted high and they're going to crucify him.
I see they got him as the number 2 overall, number 2 quarterback off the board, something like that. And I'm like, oof, that's high. That's high for a guy.
Way too high.
Didn't beat Jordan. Didn't come close to beating Jordan.
I'm like, y'all see all the other quarterbacks. Y'all see him play the first like 6-7 games of the season. Did y'all see it? Y'all see all them balls going in the dirt, all them overthrows. Okay, all right, go ahead. Go ahead and pick them if you want to. You're gonna have another James Winston.
Yep, I can see it. Panthers at Seahawks. Sam Darnold's back starting. First time.
And I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna sound like I'm hating, but not really hating. But well, I gonna say, take it back. It ain't hating. It's selfishness. I'm gonna have to be selfish on this game. As much as I love what Geno Smith is doing, Seattle Seahawks and Washington Commanders is kind of like fighting for that last spot.
That's true.
You feel what I'm saying?
That's
So I
true.
need Seattle to take this L. So I'm gonna have to go with Carolina, Panther Nation. I need y'all to stand up today. I ain't even picking y'all because I think y'all gonna win. I'm picking y'all because I need y'all to win. So Panther Nation, stand up.
Then you got the Thursday night game, right? For next game. Monday night is Cardinals and Pats. We kind of
I'm gonna say I know Carolina and Seattle want no Monday night game.
No. That was Monday night gonna be Patriots and Cardinals. I got that circle.
Oh, okay.
That'll be a good game. Like you said, you got Hollywood coming back. It'll be interesting. The Thursday night game though, you got the 49ers at the Seahawks. So you might get your wish on that one. But it might be a good game too though. So
yeah, it's gonna be a good game because I mean
they fighting for number one over there.
This is my whole problem with it. I think people are underestimating the value of Jimmy Garoppolo. Not necessarily the play, but the value. Just look at it like this. You can look and say Carson Wentz is maybe a little bit slightly more talented than Heineke. But what Heineke, the intangibles he bring on the field, his toughness, the way he galvanizes the troops and all the words that people use, it's different. It's a different feeling in the building. Like you may work somewhere that you may have a manager or a supervisor where you know he knows his stuff more than the other one, but that particular supervisor, nobody like him or like her. She a butthole. She this, she that. But then the other manager come in, you may have to help him along the way to kind of like navigate through the day or navigate through stuff. But you like him because he's a good person. He's got great personality. He might bring donuts in every week, whatever. You know, just do coffee for everybody. He might he or she might do different stuff to make you feel good when you come to work.
I got you.
And I feel like Jimmy Garoppolo, everybody liked him in that room. Not to say they don't like Purdy, but at the same time, it's not the same. When things get tight, do they really know if they can trust him at the end of the day?
I got you.
You know what I mean? But saying all that, I'm gonna have to keep riding against everybody against Seattle. When we get to the end, I'm going to 49ers because unless the 49ers fall out with Seattle in the front, then we fight with 49ers for that last spot. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Because we gotta play the 49ers, I think, in like 2 weeks, I think.
Okay.
I know we play them before the end of the season because we got the Giants again, and we got the 49ers, we got the Browns, and we end with the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? But I know we play 49ers, so hopefully by then, you know, the 49ers like done locked it up or something, and we could just go ahead and squeeze in a win inside that 7th spot. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
If you look at the standings in the NFC, there's only really the team that's already is slotted at 7, and then there's like us right there at 8. So if you look at everybody else behind us, everybody else done lost too many games to really get us right. Even Green Bay, I don't care what Aaron Rodgers talking about. If we win one more game, we automatically gonna be in because we already beat them head to head.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So he could talk all he wants to. I'm gonna keep playing until we completely eliminated, bro. You know y'all ain't getting no playoffs. Stop it.
Exactly. What he really doing is suppressing Jordan Love. He don't want that quarterback to get
exactly. He just
that's what's really going on. Because once he get out there on that field, they show that he can move the ball and win. They don't need you. Yeah. They're gonna get rid of it. So
he's being selfish. So anyway, explain to me because I was just talking to Jack about this last
night. Man. So
I'm confused. Right. What's going on?
Trae Young and Nate McMillan. You know, Nate old school. Nate say if you don't come to shoot around, you can't play. Trae Young said he wanted to go rehab his injury instead of going to shoot around them. So, okay, Nate said, well, you can't start, you can come off the bench. And Trae said, what the hell I look like coming off the bench? You got me messed up. Like, I'm not coming off no bench. I just ain't coming to the game. So he didn't come. Of course, Nate McMillan the next day came on with a little interview and said everything was like a misunderstanding, this and that. Man, nobody's done lost 5 of the last 6 games. It's looking bad. Like I don't know, man. It's looking bad. You know the player's never gonna get let go first. It's always gonna be the coach. So Nate McMillan probably already looking for him another house somewhere else. But yeah, man, it started off good, and then Trae don't help, man. Trae be looking kind of, he's taking them crazy shots and don't be really dropping his head, and just that leader you want a leadership, or you want your best player to show leadership. And for your point guard too, you know he's supposed to be the captain of the team. It just Trey Senior says disattached from the team sometimes. Like he's not really worried about the team when it comes to how he look. When the game over with, he's the first person off the floor. He gone.
Really?
He ain't shaking hands. Now, he ain't shaking hands with the enemies either. He ain't shaking hands with the other team people.
Yeah.
He's the first person off the field. I mean, me personally, I just think Trey is he's old. He's still a young kid, 23 years old, 22, 23 years old. Still trying to find his way through the world, man. I think people put a lot of expectations on him at a young age. And now that the Hawks aren't really living up to those expectations, I don't know if he's ever had to deal with this kind of pressure. Like at Oklahoma, he was always the best kid. Coming out of high school, he was the top kid, top guard. Now you're scoring points, but your efficiency is down. It takes you 30, 40 shots to get 25 points.
Yeah. And I heard you say something about Mark Jackson, and people was trying to crucify you a little bit for it. You know what I'm saying? But I agree with you. I actually think they need a coach like Mark Jackson. First of all, he coached two players that came in the league that was talented like that backcourt, in Clay and
Steph.
And if you look at it, even though Murray is not the same, he's not the same type of players like a Clay, but Trey, and Steph got similar games. You know what I'm saying? Almost dang near identical games. And then you look at, and Murray is a lockdown player. He could be a lockdown defender, maybe not on Clay level, but he can play that role a little bit. So I do feel like they need a coach, and they may just need a new voice in the locker room.
Yeah, because you got to think Nate wasn't hired off the street. He took over for Lloyd Pierce after he was fired. They just kept the same person from the staff and kept him on. They did good. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals based off a few injuries. And, you got to call it what it is. If the Nets would have been healthy, I don't even think the Hawks would have got past Milwaukee. Barely, it wouldn't have won 7 games if Giannis is fully healthy, in my opinion. But you never know. They beat New York, so everybody was like, okay, we see the future, we see the layout. Let's go ahead and keep Nate in because of what's been going on. But I don't think Nate was ever the right coach for the Hawks. I think the Hawks need that disciplinary, old school, with still the ability to understand. Like Nate's substitutions be so crazy. Like how you leave you losing by 10. You leave your star point guard on the bench coming into the second quarter for 7 minutes. Like Nate, you losing. Damn that rotation. Get that man off the bench. Like it's just little stuff with Nate.
Yeah,
he don't get no technical foul. Like when your players get fouled or something happen, you just standing there with your arms open. Like, no man, I want a coach that's gonna stand up for me. I almost got a technical foul at the damn game yesterday, and I was an assistant coach sitting on the bench because I'm yelling at the referee like, man, it's a foul. But no, man, the players see that. Coach Trey see that. My coach is not fighting for me.
Yeah. I just think, and the thing about it is, Golden State, it was this whole thing that I guess because of Mark Jackson's religious beliefs.
Yeah, that's
right. The organization really didn't care for it, or they rubbed them the wrong way. In Atlanta, shoot, all them old black folk that, that's all about church and religion and they ain't gonna care about none of that. They just, they gonna embrace it, if anything, the culture in Atlanta when it comes to that type of stuff. So that would be the least of our worries. Like, it'd be different if he was an atheist, then we might have a problem with it, but as long as you love God, we good.
Man,
you know what I mean? So
Trae Young just bought a $20 million mansion in California.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of players buy mansions in California. I don't know if that mean anything, because what would that mean?
I don't think so. It is. He just signed a 5-year deal, 100 is a max deal, $200 million.
Rob Pelinka, he an idiot. Rob Pelinka wouldn't know how to even broker that deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wouldn't even know how to broker that deal. You know what I'm saying? So he an idiot. So, because he'd have had opportunity, and then see, like this one I don't understand. Like Atlanta, they had Cam Reddish.
Yep.
They never really even developed him.
Nah, he didn't get.
And I don't know what New York doing with him. Like, because see, Tom Thibodeau problem is I guess I don't know if he don't think Cam Reddish played enough defense or what he got going
Yeah.
on. So he don't want to deal with him. Now the Lakers got an opportunity to get him. You know what I'm saying? But Robert Lincoln about to mess that situation up, and they need a shooter. And you know what I'm saying, or whatever.
He can score. He can score. The kid can score, bro. He's talented.
Ain't like 6'7", 6'8".
Listen, I think if you put him around a player like LeBron, I think that's all he needs. I think he just needs to be because he's in Atlanta, bro. We were all young when they were drafting him here. Like Trey was the head. You know, they were all young. Nobody really to be that vet presence to get in his ear and do this for him and help. Man, you can put him next to LeBron. That kid might blossom crazy. So I think people don't look at that type of determining factor in the trade. But I'm shocked the Lakers, man. I don't know what to say about the Lakers. Y'all be up one week, that week y'all going back down. AD look like AD unstoppable. Then he hurt, so it's like they got
full of themselves. They got full of themselves because they went on that 8 out of 10. They won 8 out of 10 games. Then all of a sudden, AD got the flu or whatever. Then the coach decided we gonna rest LeBron for a couple of games. And then but then you rest them in the meat of a road trip where we playing against the most hardest teams in the NBA and think that we're gonna keep the same flow going. No. Now we done lost 3 in a row. We lost 3 in a row. Now we back to where we started. We'll be right back when we start to climb back up. Yeah. Now we got to start all back over. Now it's gonna be talks this week because the December 15th line coming up this week where you can trade for players that were traded.
Oh yeah.
So or players you picked up in the offseason, you could trade. It's easy to trade them now. So that's what Rob Pelinka say he was waiting on with December 15th. But knowing his dumb ass, he gonna say, "Oh, well, I'm gonna wait till the All-Star break. By that time, we're gonna be 20 and 35 out of the whole thing, and then he's gonna be like, "Oh, well, I might just wait to the end of the season. Nick, just go away. You know what I'm saying? Wait to go away." But you know what I'm saying. But anyway, man. So, and you know what I'm saying. We had a great show today, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Next week, last show of the year for everybody that watches us. Last show of the year, 2022. We're going to call it the Mount Rushmore top 4 stories of the year. So just look out what it could be any top 4 stories of the year that we may talk about on that last episode. And we're going in 2023, new Roku channel, 810 Studios, starting on January the 8th. So we're going to be going into that. It's going to be a lot of changes. All I'm going to tell you, it's going to be some changes made.
Change is good, right?
Yeah, you're going to see some changes made. So, but y'all, I think y'all appreciate where we about to go with this thing. So I appreciate everybody. Y'all always supporting us and just locking in with us, rocking with us. We got some stuff that me and Steve are definitely working on in here in the ATL. You know what I'm saying? And try to get us rocking and rolling. But we know 2023, God willing, going to be a huge, huge year. So, you know what I mean? We're going to keep this train moving. But until next time, till next week, everybody stay blessed and do something for somebody this week, man, that you wouldn't normally do. And we out.
Peace.